Hello everybody, welcome to Smooth Nature. I'm Gary. I realize it's been quite a span between videos. I'm trying to correct that situation and start to get a little more frequent with them. But we're getting ready to start this project. And this is one that I've been looking at for a couple years now. This is a Chiappa Lil Badger, for those not familiar with it. It's a great little break action 22. Actually it comes in 22 long rifle, 22 mag, and 17 HMR. This here, 22 mag. This gun will fold up. It'll fit into a backpack. I mean, it tucks away into nothing. I think it weighs like 3 pounds or something, really light. Single shot, let's see, break action. We got the Picatinny rail on 4 sides. We got the tactical front sight, as well as a peep sight, which also has the windage and elevation adjustment. And I've heard the videos I've watched on these things. I mean, I've watched quite a few. The guys just non-stop complain about this thing. Well, this is cheap and that's cheap. Well, ladies and gentlemen, brand new, around $200. And for that price, I mean, there had to be some corners cut, right? So, front and rear side are plastic, but it's supposed to be a high impact plastic. And I've worked within a plastic extrusion facility for about 5-6 years. And I know there are different plastics, and you get some pretty hard plastics. I won't give them a chance. There will be some modification. This front sight, I'm going to try to put a fiber optic in it and just clean that up a little bit, because I think that would really help. When I look through it now, I have a hard time, especially low light, looking through the peep sight, trying to find that center. So we're going to try that. The other thing, this here, although I do like it, and it does serve the purpose, I want to replace it. I want something a little beefier, something I can get a hold of, you know, and that's going to be our first project. The other project is we've taken 3 of these Picatinny rails off and building a forearm piece to it. And I'm not going to give away the whole surprise, but I got plans. No, but the great little gun does come with a hammer relief that you can use. If you have a scope on it, it sits over the hammer, you can still get a hold of it and cock it. Really light trigger pull on it. It's got a thread protector on the end, so I got plans. That's going to be in there somehow. But great little gun, I'll just say that. And, you know, there's so many videos of guys doing the modifications to them, wrapping them in paracord, putting the knife in there, putting a little bag in there. So my wheels, like I said, a couple of years, my wheels have been rolling on this thing. And I was approached with somebody that had this. I said, hey, would this be something you'd be interested in? There's very few jobs that I've taken on, projects that weren't my own. You know, people would come to me. A lot of time I'm like, yeah, I'm not comfortable with that. I am not a gunsmith. This is all, you know, fly by the seat of my pants, see what happens thing. I try to use a little common sense and some knowledge on it, and things turn out. I feel more comfortable destroying something of mine rather than somebody bringing it in and it not working out. So, kind of nervous, but I couldn't pass up the chance for this one. So, like I said, we got plans. We're going to start right here first. We're going to replace this. So what I'm going to replace that with is this. Okay, so everybody knows synthetic stock CVA. I mean, it was a cheap way to put a gun out, and you know, it does its job. You can't complain. So once again, you're not paying thousands of dollars for this thing. It's a reasonable price, so it's what you get. What I'm going to do, I'm interested in this piece here. We're going to chop this. We're going to take this buttstock completely off. This is then going to be installed on the end of this. And you see where I'm going with this? Because I really like this. Now the beautiful part about this is it's hollow. And my head thinks, well, if it's hollow, we can put stuff in it. So that's what we're going to do. I'll be able to put gear in here, survival gear. My aim is, if you were to get stuck with this gun out somewhere, you can spend the night, not lose a meal, not lose any sleep, and have a fire. That's the goal. So without making this as heavy as a kitchen sink. So there's going to be a little trade-off, but first things first, we're going to cut the stock off and get started. So here we go. Okay, hard to get a mark on there, so I put green tape on it so I can see what I'm doing here. Right now I'm going to lay this on top of that gun. I'm going to try to get the butt stocks and this top plane as reasonable as I can to be enclosed. Looks pretty good. Okay, this is all guesswork. I wish there was some rocket science to it. It's not that smart. So if I can get enough room to work with, I can sand that down, file it down as I need to really fit that wrist. Right now, it's best guess and see what happens. So that's what we have. Now I'm going to take this over to the chop saw. I'm going to chop on that mark, and we're going to get started with this. Alright, easy disassembly there. There we go. So, get that. Let's set that barrel to the side for now. We're going to put these pieces back together. There's a really small washer we got to keep. So we're going to make sure we get that in a nice safe place. This is all like a corgi bolt looking deal. So we're going to do some expanding on this later. That's another project. We got this tore down. I got a Torx bit. I think it's 10. We got a bolt on each side. We're going to take that apart. Get the right hole. There we go. Okay, so the bolts are now out, and I'm just going to lift this up. According to videos, you want to cock that. That makes it a little easier to take this plate off. This is where I keep expecting pieces just to fly everywhere. I'm not a fan of this by any means. Okay, fairly simple in there. I like that. Alright, as you can see, this is going to come out. And makes a very nice detail. We're going to go ahead and let that hammer down. Very simple. I like that. Very nice. Just some springs and a couple pieces of steel. The butt stocks is held in with these two pieces here. It's not threaded that I can see. So we're going to go and take that apart. Yeah, look at that. That pops right out. So our next job is to get that to go together. And you did notice that I cut it a little longer than where my mark was, because when I pulled it up, it just felt like it needed a little bit more on it. And like I said, you can always file this down. It's really hard to put it back together once you take it out, right? Okay, so I'm going to find some rods for this, and we're going to start on putting this together. This is going to be cool. It's a joy to stay here in the shop. I think I got a tear coming on. All the years of all the bolts that I've saved and the boxes sitting around here, I dug through. I found two 6mm bolts, and it's a proud day for my shop. I don't know what to say. If keeping all them bolts, there's probably 5-gallon bucket full of them for probably 8 years now. It's paid off. It's been worth it. It's a good day for me. The Allen wrench wasn't working. I found out they got to have the threads on the bottom of this. These slots are threaded so that you could actually have some adjustment on your buttstock to move it out or in. And once again, engineering, you did a great job. 6mm, I'd never thought I'd had a 6mm in the shop, but a piece of furniture or something I'd taken apart at one point in my life, I had 2 of them. It's a good day. It's a good day. So now we can keep moving on with this, and the roosters are going to serenade me. They're proud of me too. Let's go. Okay, like I said, 6mm bolts. I'm going to put them in here about even. That's pretty close to where the threads were on the other buttstock. So what I'm going to do now is I want to mark these on the top. So, because oddly enough, these are flat on the top. And when I put this other plate on, it squeezes it down in them threads and it keeps it from moving. So right now I'm just marking the top center. So when I file it, it'll be there. And I can be off, because like I said, this is threaded. So as long as that flat's consistent all the way through, I can turn that bolt to get that flat on top. But this will take the guesswork out of it. So we got the bolts in. The receiving section is back together. So now we got to put these inside the buttstock, seal it, and then epoxy it. I've already marked some alignment marks on the stock here, on the top and the sides. So I know about where I want it to set. I'm going to go ahead, I don't know if you see these marks or not, we'll go ahead and grind these down, taper them, so it'll be a nice smoother transition into the receiver. And at that point I'm going to hot melt, I'm going to take these bolts back out, I'm going to hot melt those into the inside of this, and then turn it upside down, fill it with epoxy, and then we'll carry on tomorrow. But right now that's where we're at, and it's going, it's getting there. Okay, so wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, so I went ahead and worked, and it turned out. Figures right. So the 2 bolts were down in here. I put tape across that seam so the epoxy wouldn't get inside. You know, one thing I was worried about. And then I went around the outside with hot melt glue and sealed that basically. I can pull that hot melt off then once the epoxy is set. I also went around the inside of the stock, like at the bottom, this area, and just piled up the hot melt glue there as best I could without it dripping out. And then I set it in place in the vise and let it set till it cooled off. And so now, ta-da! So we got that. My next step is to mix up a lot of epoxy and fill that to the inside. We're going to let it set till tomorrow then. I'm pretty happy with this. This is going the direction I was hoping it would. You know, all right with this. It's got a good fill when I pull it up to the shoulder. Yeah, you can see that, can't you? So I like how that sets on my shoulder now a lot better. And I can put my face down on a solid butt cheek rather than that thin rail that they had. Like I said, it was a great gun, very well designed. I like this. I did notice that the paint, it's looks like an aluminum alloy. The paint rubs off pretty easy, so it's going to show marks quick, I'm thinking. But all right, well, we're going to move on. We're going to get this filled with epoxy, let it set, and then we're going to take us up tomorrow and proceed. Okay, so buttstock's on. You can see that's the hot melt glue. That's what I used to seal that. There was a difference in the height right through here. So I went ahead and just sealed that all the way around with the hot melt glue. Set it upside down and filled it with epoxy to about right there. So the bolts heads are sticking into the stock. They're now epoxied into that. So I can now take this apart again and this will come off. If I want to put this frame back on, you know, kayaking for a pack rifle, whatever, to slim this down, I can do that. Or I can put this on, and I now have this full buttstock. One thing that I did, the butt cap comes off, and so now inside I'm able to store things. And let's see what we got. Okay, we got it loosened up. First thing, it's a small pocket knife. It's a nice little Gerber. I've used this thing a lot. It fits in my pocket nicely. It doesn't rub my leg bad. So what's next? Alright, so this is a thermal blanket. This is, see, the measurements come out to be like 5 by 7. So it's a little bigger than what you normally pack, but I can make a shelter out of it. I can use it for a blanket, either way. I've got a small tube. This is cordage. This is actually jute. If I want to use it for a fire starter, pull the ends off. There you are. I got it packed in there pretty well. But I can take that, fray the edges off, and like I said, I could use it for a fire starter, or I could just use it for cordage, either way. And it's a very handy material to have. So that's the jute, and it's in a waterproof container. It's sealed. So that stays at the side. That looks coming out. Alright, I've got one glow stick. Got a fire starter. A ferro rod, if you will. So we get the lid off. Wow. Alright. So I got that. I got a fire starting material here. Little fire block. We'll start a fire. I got a small button compass. And this is 15 rounds of 22 mag. So I got that as backup. I can probably get one more in there. So that's a good to have. So I got all that into the buttstock. So like I said, I could use this for a shelter or a blanket, either way. And then I could start a fire. And then also have extra ammo. And I went with a glow stick because it gives off the light, and I don't have to worry about a battery going down on it. So we're going to move on to this. This is another thing that I've done. Get a close-up of that. So I had an aluminum rod here, and what I did was I threaded it. This is actually 6mm is what this come out being. So I still had the 6mm bolt to cut the head off. I threaded that into this, and this made a nice little button. See if you can get a profile of it. So I can get a hold of that, and it doesn't stick out and ugly beside the gun. I'm going to probably go ahead and then paint this black so that it does hide a little better. And this just screws into the Corby bolt on the other side, and that's what holds the barrel in. So let's just go ahead and do that now. Back that out. Whoop. We'll back that out. The barrel goes on really nice, easy, and that's what I was wanting, was to be able to attach that barrel and make that slimmer. I could put that in a smaller package now than what it came with. This just goes on the side. Okay, there we are. Okay, so as far as sights went, I got this. This is a Fiat RS28, I believe. Yeah, it seems like it. So yeah, RS28, RS reflex sight, what that stands for. This comes with 4 apertures on it. It's got a nice little protective hood. We'll put that on. But you could have just the red dot. You could have the circle, a small circle with a red dot in the middle, a larger circle with a red dot in the middle, or it'd be the crosshairs with the red dot in the middle. It's got a red and green selection, depending on what kind of light source you need. And let's see what else. Remember, it's very small. It fits this pick rail really nice. you know, and that's where it's going to be, which we're going to do that here next. And I went with that. I left the sights on that that came with the gun. If I can find a fiber optic, I'm going to go ahead and embed a fiber optic in this front sight, but if not, I mean, I don't have a problem with the sights. I've heard a lot of people complain about them. Yeah, they could be better, but once again, for what you're paying for it, they did good on that. It's military sights. You got the windage elevation adjustments on it. No, I don't know how you can complain about that. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, we'll go ahead and put the sight on, get that mounted, and I think that's probably going to be it. Okay, front sight. So what I did was I took a Dremel tool with a small round cutter head on it, and I notched the top of the post, and then I just took a fiber optic rod, cut it to length, and set it in with super glue, and it still has that reflecting ability. It didn't hurt that. I took a soldering iron and melted down the ends to get it to slim up so it didn't stick out past the guard. And if you cut it with something, it tends to pinch it and it doesn't show up as well. But the soldering iron did a great job. The front and rear sights, I mean, they're good sights. I mean, once again, you're looking at a $200 gun, and you know, so you got to keep perspective. You still have the windage and elevation adjustment on the rear sight, which makes it nice. And now I have the front sight with a fiber optic pin, and I know that's going to improve the accuracy of it. So if this sight, the reflex sight, ever goes dead, the battery ever dies in it, runs down, I can take that off and then still have another set of sights behind it, and I won't be left hanging. I feel like that's a really important thing from a survival standpoint, you know, to have as many options as possible without adding to your workload. And that's what we have here. Alright, finished product right there. Nice little gun. I like this. Breaks open real sweet. It still bends probably to the exact configuration we had before, even with the bigger stock on it. It folds down almost to nothing. But the sight, I like that. With that shoulder on there, that fits good. I was thinking about originally when I come up with this, I was going to put the buttstock on, but I was also going to add a forearm piece, and I had some ABS that I was going to make that with. But then I decided that kind of takes away from what this was engineered for. This is made to be small and compact, and to add that would be to add weight and to add bulk. So I decided that, you know, this is as far as I'm going to go with it, and it works great. I mean, the fit, you know, I still got something to hold on to. I got this buttstock against my shoulder. I got something to lay my cheek on, which is comforting. I went ahead and put black tape around the butt cap. That's just a little extra insurance that it doesn't come off and dump everything out. This is nice. This also has a 550 paracord sling, so that's going to add to all the safety features of it. I got the swivels or the sling mounts from Amazon, like 11 bucks, and they work out great. And carry that thing with me now wherever I need to go. Ta-da! Right, shoulders well without buttstock. That's what I'm used to. It sits right in there right where I need it. This gun, you can tell that they put a lot of thought into this gun. It's a great survival gun, a great pack gun, depending on your use. I've watched a lot of videos, and just because it had a pickaninny rail on it, everybody was attaching all kinds of stuff to it, taking them off, modifying it. You can buy this mod, that mod. This isn't a tactical gun. This is not a gun you would want to sweep a house with, right? So this gun has a purpose, and they put a lot of good thought into it. They made a really nice rifle, and I want to thank you, Chiappa, for doing that, because this is what we needed. It's small, but it's accurate, and you know, it's got a lot of flexibility with it. This being able to take that apart, being able to fold that down, even, you know, that gun folds quite a bit, and for concealment, for carrying, that's a great option. I like that. Now, I have the extra ability of taking it apart, which they have a version. I think it's the TD for takedown. It also has Yeah, knob similar to mine. Theirs is round with knurl, and you're able to take it apart in 2 pieces. Let's see if there's anything else I need to do here. I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, it's a great gun, and you know, I don't think it needs a pistol grip either way. It fits well. I can pull that thing up, and it's right where I need it, you know. And I'm looking forward to using this. As it sits now, with the contents and the way it is set up, if this was a gun you were just carrying and you weren't able to make it back to your camp at night, or you had to bug out in a hurry, this is all you could grab. This gun, with the contents of the buttstock, you would be able to make a fire, and with the thermal blanket you could either make a shelter or be able to cover yourself. So it's at least an overnight survival gun, right? So that's about all I got for this one. It was a great project. I had a good time with it. A lot of fun. If anybody's thinking about a pack gun, something small, something concealable, I think this would be it. It's around $200. Great price for this gun. And it also comes in a 22 long rifle and a 17 HMR. This one, 22 mag. So I'm Gary, Spooning with Nature, with my Chiappa Lil Badger, and all the things that have been done to it. Thank you for watching.